What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. It's time for the wholesome min-maxing for fun and profit. We're not here to talk about how we're going to blow everyone out of the water, how we're going to one-shot the boss. No, we're all about friendship and magic, specifically in the form of healing. Let's build us a life oracle in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Yeah, that playtest ran like a month, but whatever. PDF's still out. We're still going to screw with it. If you're liking what you're seeing, be sure to like, subscribe, ding the bell, or Achilles will keep shouting at the door. Maybe with enough subscriptions on YouTube, my cat will be appeased at last. But this episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit was brought to you in part by Takesri the Artificer. I always want to say that instead of Artificer. That word's funny to pronounce, but in any case, thanks for your support, man. Here we go. God, Achilles is loud. Okay, so this build is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Not a lot of fancy bells and whistles going on in this one. The primary main objective of the Life Oracle is to just make sure those of us who do have those fancy bells and whistles survive to do them. Healing is important. I feel like in 2nd edition, they want you to have a more stereotypical party, but even if they didn't, there is no shame or dishonor in having somebody or playing that somebody who's behind the barbarian or the fighter or whatever, whose job it is to make sure that the resource that is the hit points, because truly HP is a resource, stays topped off. In Rise of the Rune Lords, certainly when I was playing Skoros, that handsome devilish brawler guy, I'd have loved to have a Life Oracle behind me because very regularly I was ending combats with like 3 hit points. For our race today, it's a halfling. Keep it easy, do the thing that gets all the luck things, share them with your friends. So let's dive right into our class feats, shall we? Like the rest of the casters, we do not get a class feat at first. So at level 2, we'll begin with Gleam Lore. For one action, you tap into the collected lore of the divine, accessing a variety of potentially useful information. Attempt a religion check to recall knowledge regardless of the topic. That means you can use religion to recall knowledge about why that lion has green fur. You can attempt religion to recall knowledge about how the 6th Army of Exploration was building stuff in the ruins of the Stolen Lands. The GM might adjust the DC. In any case, this lets you use religion for all the recall knowledges, boiling you down to just that one, letting you spend your proficiencies on other skills. That's amazing. Anybody who's really good at religion could archetype into Oracle just to grab that. Hey, speaking of archetype, it's the Cleric dedication next, for some extra spells and things, but we're not worried about that right now. Let's talk about at level 6 when we take Advanced Revelation, which gets us the Advanced Revelation spell from the Life Mystery. And also, once per day when you cast a Revelation spell, you don't have to increase the severity of your curse. Really, the healing curse isn't that bad, all told. We'll talk about that more when we get done here. Healing Hands comes next. Grabbing that one from the Cleric because, well, if our whole shtick is to be casting heal, maybe we'd rather roll d10s. I don't know. Crazy thought, I guess. Greater Revelation right on time at 10th, alongside a really good 10th level Oracle feat for this build. I'm not gonna lie. We'll grab our Greater Revelation. Fun fact, this doesn't have Advanced Revelation as a prereq, but if you have Advanced Revelation, you can delay your curse twice per day. Not bad. Next from the Cleric, again, it's Communal Healing. When you cast the heal spell to heal a single creature that's not you, you regain hit points equal to the spell level of the heal spell. Honestly, we'll probably be kind of close to combat, so that might help to give us a little bit of hit points if we're catching a little bit of extra owies. But we're mostly grabbing it for improved communal healing, which would let you grant those extra hit points to somebody else instead, spreading the love and all that. At 16th, we go back to the Oracle for the feat Oracular Warning. A feat that I kind of slept on and almost didn't put in the build, which, oh, by the way, patronage at any tier gets you access to a Google Sheet with all this in for you. Though admittedly, there's not that much to be in on this one. Cast Heal, don't let them die. Simple enough, but when you are about to roll for initiative, you get a flash of insight about impending danger related to one ally and can shout or gesture to warn that ally of the threat a moment before it materializes. On flavor, I love this. One ally of your choice can roll twice for initiative and use the better result as a fortune effect. If you're legendary in religion, you receive 2 visions and can warn 2 allies, but if you do this, you give yourself disadvantage on initiative. If you avoid that misfortune effect on yourself, your allies don't get the fortune, but that's fine because I find if you are playing the healer, you want to go towards the bottom of the initiative anyway. As I've been watching Tempe in Wrath of the Righteous, with the Oracle Curse that forces her to go last, yeah, that's pretty darn good. Let all of the bad guys hit your friends first and then heal the ones that get hit, rather than just delaying your action. Also, this helps the rogues go first to get sneak attack off. It lets the champion or the fighter or the barbarian get up front if it's an ambush. Wizard get the wall spell up. You get it, right? Easy enough. Next at 18th, Divine Effusion. Twice per day you can cast a spell after you've run out of spell slots of the appropriate spell level. The 2 spells you cast with this feat must of course be of different spell levels, but hey, extra spells are as extra spells do, which is exactly why at 20th, Oracular Providence give you that extra 10th level spot, because what's better than Miracle? More Miracle. Now, the Life Mystery. Not only does this give you 10 hit points instead of 8, which is enormous, the curse is one that's not hard to deal with. As your minor curse, life energy flows outward from you and connects you to all living things, but it costs you your own vital essence in the process. The DC of all beneficial medicine checks to affect you increases by 5. If a creature is rolling one check to affect many, it rolls once and compares to your DCs separately, and effects that restore hit points to you take a status penalty equal to half your level to the number of hit points you recover. So your gigantic heal for all the hit points at level 20 takes a minus 10. I think we can live with that, I'm not gonna lie. Especially when probably you aren't the one that's getting hit that much. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume that the healer is not being targeted as often as the guy with the great axe who's in the goblin's face chopping at it. Kind of goes back to something I want to make a video about on my own called the Wolf Fallacy. We've talked about it a bunch. TLDR, something with low intelligence isn't smart enough to know the Oracle is healing, therefore will target the Oracle. And by the time you're fighting things that are intelligent enough to know, hey, you're the healer, everybody else is a little stronger, can react faster, and can protect you. For the Moderate Curse, the flow of life energy can't be reversed. Whoa. In addition to the effects of your Minor Curse, you can't be healed by effects originating from other creatures, though you are affected normally by elixirs, potions, and other items. Okay, fine, we're the healer anyway. We've got this. If you're unconscious, external healing can bring you to 1 HP. Oh, but when you cast Heal, and all your targets would be healed by the effect, you roll D12s instead of, in our case, D8s. If we get to Moderate Curse and we want to be there, we're healing with great axes. We're throwing great axes at you until your wounds stitch. That makes sense. That's not painful. And whenever you finish the cast a spell activity for a non-cantrip spell, you restore hit points either to one target or the creature nearest to you. The rich get richer. This is just dumb. For the Major Curse, you retain the minor and the moderate, and each time you use a spell slot to cast a 5th level or higher spell that takes 2 or more actions to cast, you disperse positive energy in a 30-foot burst with the effects of a 3-action heal with a level 4 lower than the level of the spell cast. You lose twice the amount of hit points rolled for it, but again, you probably never get here if twice a day you can delay it. Just don't know this super hard if you aren't ready for it. Delay Affliction is our first mystery spell. You attempt a counteract check against any one affliction you are aware the target has, suspending its effects for 1 hour on a success rather than removing it. You need to be aware what the thing is that's making them feel poopy, but you don't need to know what it is. That's not horrible. I have Carrion Crown tonight and 2 of my players have Mummy Rot. I'm sure they'd love it if someone could delay the effects of Mummy Rot for a little while. Lifelink is next. You forge a connection of life energy between you and your target, passing out harm between the 2 of you. The first time each round that the target takes damage, reduce the damage they take by 5, to a minimum of 0. You lose 5 hit points, or the total damage should it have been less than 5, which ignores any immunities or resistances. The spell ends if you fall unconscious. It lasts for a minute. Heightened to 6, it's 2, and blocks and gives you 10. At 9th, it's 3 and 15. So a lot of this build is kind of burning brightly, but it works really well if you're in a high optimized party that wants to show up and kill all the things really fast, especially again if you're giving the rogues advantage on initiative. Honestly, I think you'll be okay. Just again, don't manifest your curse until you're ready for it. Lastly, Healing Form for 2 actions lasting a minute. You transcend your physical form, becoming a beacon of healing energy. You turn into a positive energy elemental, is what I'm reading. You exude bright light like a torch. You get resistance 5 to precision and weakness 5 to negative. Your unarmed strikes deal an extra d4 positive damage, which is my favorite way to flavor anything. It's like the compliment sandwich from Family Guy. Hey, you do really good on your work, but also I'm gonna punch you! But also, hey, you're great. Positive. A creature that touches you or damages you with an unarmed attack or non-reach melee weapon takes 3d4 positive damage. Oh, if you're fighting undead, I guess this is just dumb, isn't it? Weakness to positive, oopsie. You can touch an ally with an interact action to give them 6d8 hit points back, and allies who touch you with an interact action get that same healing. Either way, they get immune. This heightens to go up, but I really like this because it allows the non-healer to get the healing on their action economy. You cast heal on your turn, they need a little more, well, tag the positive energy elemental, and your wish is granted. Remember, we can always dumb our curse back down to minor by refocusing. We can't get rid of it once it's there, but it's okay. As it was in first edition, though in first edition it certainly was much more explosive. The Oracle proves once again as the class that seems like it's going to be bad. Here's this detriment no one wants, but you get all the value, your friends last longer, and again, when crits are doing a lot of damage and encounters are on balance, I think, especially at lower levels, harder, the Life Oracle might indeed push you through. But what do you guys think? Did we play the Life Oracle in the playtest in 2e? Are we playing it still now? What curses do we want to see come back from first edition? Really, I'm about to have a Time Oracle at a game in the house, and I'm really, really stoked for that. It's not often you get to play with Chronomancy, but The Witch is next week. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.